Was the Honda Grom reliable? Is it fuel efficient? Can it be stolen? Is it manageable? The Honda Grom is the only bike faster than the Kawasaki H2R. That's why I daily the R1, because the Honda is just way too powerful. You have to sign an agreement with the manufacturer to keep the bike a sleeper. And the cloaking device, you have to press these in a certain sequence, because not only does the bike become invisible, but the rider does as well. The anti-theft device, you gotta jump on the seat, and it has to recognize my exact weight. I make a lot of stupid decisions, not least of which, daily riding a Honda Grom for 4 months while this R1 here was in the shop. I ranked that somewhere in between the time I got caught selling fake tickets to the Halloween dance and all those times I couldn't find my keys because they were in the freezer. Bruh. There are some pros to dailying a Honda Grom though. This thing can take some abuse. I beat the crap out of it. I do not maintain it the way it's supposed to be. As a matter of fact, this is a 2018. Right now, it has 8,753 miles on it. And I have not done a proper oil change on this bike since the day I bought it, which was brand new. So it's not like the previous owner was doing it. But the fact that it doesn't get out of its own way and I don't stay off the highway, it's not a good combination. Anyway, today, even though I have the R1 back, we're gonna take this bad boy for a spin and give you the rundown. On what it's like to daily ride a Honda Grom. I've heard people call this a beginner bike. I disagree. Just over 200 pounds. The whopping 8 horsepower that this bike packs, pause, is exhilarating. My R1 cannot keep up with this bike. Actually, not even allowed on the track. They consider it to be an unfair advantage, since this bike is faster than any F1 car ever made. They will not allow you to compete with it. If you're gonna ride this bike, since it's so overpowered, you have to be very conservative. You really don't want to be doing 0 to 60 in any less than 0.8 of a second. But it's really difficult to hold yourself back. This bike is rated for 165 octane. 165 octane. It's very difficult to find, so I have to put 87 octane in twice. That gets me to 174. It's okay to go over, but you don't want to go under. Problem with this bike is it takes $300 to fill the tank. Yes, you heard it right. Hello. May I please have $3 on number 10? Thank you. You too. That lady, she knows me. this is the only gas station I go to, especially when my armed guards are not available. And I can't be letting everybody know that I walk around with that much cash. So I tell her $3, and she knows that means 300. She even works it out. Look at this. It even says on the screen $3 in case somebody walks by and happens to notice. It's good to have people like that on your side. They even rigged up the pump to make it look like it's only accepting $3, and it pumps faster. So the amount of time it takes me to put $100 worth of gas into my tank, it would take anybody else that same amount of time to put a single dollar. And look, as usual, full. So you know I put the whole $300 worth in, because otherwise the tank would not be full. The anti-theft device, you gotta jump on the seat, and it has to recognize my exact weight. That's why if I'm not totally centered, I have to do it again. It's an anti-theft device, and it stops anybody but me from starting the bike. I can let somebody ride, pause, but I have to start the bike for them. Otherwise it won't work. Even though it's just as wide as your standard sedan, somehow, some way, it fits right in between the lane. You would think that it was the size of a standard motorcycle, but no, absolutely not. The dimensions of the Honda Grom happen to be the exact same dimensions as a 2005 Mercedes-Benz S500. Length, width, height, everything. The only difference is the weight. Now here's where you run into problems dailying the Grom. You have to sign an agreement with the manufacturer to keep the bike a sleeper. Nobody can know that it is actually capable of speeds of over 300 miles an hour. The Honda Grom is the only bike faster than the Kawasaki H2R. And you have to sign pretty much an NDA. I really hope they don't come after me for this. But I'm not demonstrating, I'm just talking about it. So if you know, you know. If not, I could be lying. So I'm hoping I can use that as a defense in court. But the Honda Grom is the fastest production motorcycle ever. I think the top speed is 335 miles an hour. But like I said, you have to sign an agreement with the manufacturer that you will not pass 60 miles an hour if it's windy, 70 miles an hour if it's not. And I believe there's a stipulation written in there. You have to be going downhill if you want to touch that 70 miles an hour mark. But I have to go back and look that up. It's all in the owner's manual. Not in the official owner's manual, but they give you an insert, pause. They do, however, allow you to open it up on a closed course. So I have been to a drag strip before. I checked a lot of supercars off on my list, man. I smoked a McLaren with this, every model Lamborghini you could imagine, 4 different model Ferraris, including the LaFerrari. The LaFerrari, I gapped by 1/8 of a mile, and it was only a 1/4 mile track. That's why I daily the R1, because the Honda is just way too powerful. The thing is, the R1 was in the shop for a while. It's a lot more delicate than the Honda. The Honda, I can beat it up, drop it, neglect it, fail to change the oil, and it doesn't matter. It always starts. The R1, I baby it, and it's always crying about something. In theory, the Grom would be the better choice for a daily, just because of the reliability factor. but it's just way too fast. It's not built for these streets. It's not even built for the racetrack, to be honest with you. The Grom also has wings. That's another feature you're not supposed to demonstrate. Remember, people, you have to sign a contract. If you do use the wings, you also have to use the cloaking device so nobody can see you. The invisibility shield, I think it's officially called. But the Grom flies. Flies literally in the sky. It doesn't just go fast. This button right here, they disguise it to look as if it's a reservoir for brake fluid. But that's actually the button that initiates the wings. It doesn't go that high though, 200 feet max. But that's enough. At 200 feet above the road, you obviously don't have to deal with the traffic. But like I said, you're required by contract to initiate the cloaking device in the event that you use the wings. And the cloaking device, you have to press these in a certain sequence. And everybody's bike has a different sequence, because they don't want somebody to steal your Grom and then be able to initiate the cloaking device, because not only does the bike become invisible, but the rider does as well. By the way, the Grom is theft proof. It's like the sword and the stone. I don't know if you've ever read the story or heard the story, The Sword and the Stone. But there's only one person that can cause the Grom to move, and that is the owner. Just another one of the great features of the Honda Grom. Was the Honda Grom reliable? Absolutely. Is it fuel efficient? That's a tough one. The tank lasts 6 months, but it costs $300 to fill up. Can it be stolen? No, absolutely not. Is it manageable? No. This thing is a monster, a beast. The amount of skill that it takes to keep the front wheel on the ground is just impossible to even explain, let alone comprehend. If you're thinking about picking up a Honda Grom, just make sure you don't have a heavy wrist.
Ay, Douglas Antonio.